Hello, hello. All right. Sorry about that. I'm having a weird audio thing where my selected sound device is not the right one, but we are once again back in the world of Gloomhaven. This week, I'm Game Face Killa, and this is Rollin' Solo. I am someone who loves board games, and I love checking them out. Yes, new game hype. There's a new game we'll be taking a look at. I think I might play through a scenario here on the adventure mode, and then to kind of break things up a little bit, mix it up. I'm going to do a preview of a new game that just came out today. I had no idea that this game was coming out or even existed. I'm really excited about taking a look at it. But so we'll be taking a look at that in a little while. But first, we have Gloomhaven. No updates this week, or there's no, especially no digital game updates. There's there was a server issue earlier today, I guess, that kind of crashed things down for people. I think it's possible that Steam was kind of updating some server issues, or Asmodee Digital was updating some server things. And one of the concerns that came out of it that I saw in some of the forum posts was whether or not there was going to be a requirement to be logged in and online with Asmodee if you were playing the game, or if you're playing co-op, it makes sense. But if you're playing single player and you're on your own, do you have to be logged in? I kind of go back and forth. Some people are vehemently against it, but to me, I don't mind logging in, especially if it means that I get to maybe jump onto my laptop and finish playing a game that I started on my desktop. But I understand the argument, the opposite side of the argument, which is that you have to be online, so if servers go down or something's wrong with them, you can't play on your own. And if you don't have if you're somewhere where you don't have an internet connection, then you're going to be in big trouble. I think those issues will probably diminish as internet and Wi-Fi and everything get better and better. But I do understand that argument. It's a valid one, I think. So no real new updates. I've been trying to do some internet research. So if anyone who's watching wants to let me know, I am kind of interested how the flow of this adventure mode works. So I've been playing my Venomstone group here, my Scoundrel and Cragheart, and I've kind of been traversing the map, but I noticed that I'm kind of going in a circle. I'm not really, I don't have the over. I forgot I started a new scenario, but I don't really have the ability to. It doesn't seem like I'm progressing any closer toward the Bandit Guard. Although I kind of wonder if maybe I decide when I'm going to advance, which is kind of interesting. So I can kind of build up as much as I want and then decide when I'm going to face off against one of the mini bosses, eventually getting toward the head boss. I kind of have gotten the feeling like that's what's going on, but at no real clarification. Maybe I need to look up some YouTube playthroughs of the adventure mode. But the ones I've seen so far have been really short. An hour or an hour and a half. I don't think they'd be playing through the whole adventure mode. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'll find out soon how long it takes to get through a playthrough of the adventure mode. So I started in the dungeon. I'm kind of advancing. The adventure mode right now doesn't really have a lot of distinctive storylines. Really, every path you choose is either easy, medium, or hard, and basically it just determines how much XP and reward you get. The story is a little minimal and doesn't really connect from one path to another, so you're not seeing like a building storyline like you would in the campaign. But that's okay. I mean, that's kind of that's what rogue mode is like, right? When you play roguelike games, you're going to see a lot of that. I'm trying to see if I've got a ability to push somebody into one of these traps, but I think I can only activate it if I infuse some nature magic. Unfortunately, I don't have any synergy between the Scoundrel and Cragheart when it comes to elements for each other. They kind of generate different elements. I could do the pull 2 and pull someone into the trap, which I might actually do. I actually think I could do a pretty cool move here. With quick hands, I could move up. Oh, unfortunately, I'm too far away. I really wish you could. In the regular game, you kind of have your choice of your starting spaces. I'm hoping that they'll implement that soon. Because it's kind of nice to be able to choose your starting positions. Okay, here's my pull, and I'm going to make this an early move. Crackheart's also going to move quickly. I think he'll do the rumbling advance. And then what to do once he gets there. So he'll move up and do some damage and infuse the nature he needs to do some pushing next round. And then I'm hoping to I'm going to hit both of these traps here on the left-hand side. I'm hoping I'll activate them both by pushing someone into them. So I just need to kind of do a regular attack. Doesn't need to be like amazing. Ooh, I've got my big card here. I'll do Crushing Grasp, just to kind of... Alright, so we've got Bandit Guard moving at 35 and Archer at 44, so they're going to go after me. They're doing moves and attacks, slight moves, and ranged attacks. Both of them are doing ranged attacks, so that'd be kind of good if I trapped a Bandit Guard and he had to attack at disadvantage. But I'm going to be taking a lot of damage every time someone lives. So I'm going to use Quick Hands. I'm not going to be able to move, unfortunately, really close. Close enough to attack anybody, let's put it that way. Well, let's see. Actually, no, I can't move up close enough with Quick Hands to be able to do the attack part. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go here. And the reason why I'm doing that, I'm going to skip the attack action. I'm going to use my pull 2 to pull one of these archers. Confirm it. Now the question is... Okay, let's try this again. Select pull. And I believe I select the target. Huh, that's interesting. Because it's within a range 3. Well, I guess let's try to pull this other archer. Okay, so for some reason I couldn't select this archer. I'm not sure if it's a pathing problem. I know that some of you might be saying, well, maybe it's because the table's in the way, but tables and obstacles don't really block range effects or range abilities. The only thing that blocks them is not having line of sight through a wall. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him onto the trap. Oh. And then confirm that. It's really interesting. Well, okay, I'll go ahead and pull him the full distance. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, I just remembered. So this is a rule in the game. If you have the ability to use an ability to the full effect, like for example, if you have a pull 2, I do believe you have to do both spaces of movement. So I couldn't just do a pull without pulling him the second, because I did have the ability to do that. So I pulled him through the trap, pulled her through the trap, and that hit her. So, you know, not too bad. I should have used knowing that I was going to pull her up, I should have chosen a different attack, but that's okay. So he's going to move up and damage both of these guys 1. And he generated nature, but of course, if anytime you generate elements, you can't use them the same turn you generate them, so I have to wait till next round. I'm going to attack the Bandit Guard which will also keep him from moving. So since he's fighting, since he's doing a range attack, it will actually be beneficial for him to move back, and he will move back out of range to attack me. But by immobilizing him, I keep him from doing that, and he has to draw. Well, he's dead, so it doesn't matter. But if he had lived, he would have had to have attacked me at disadvantage. Ugh, okay, so 1 damage. Not a lot of damage with this range attack that the guards have, but it is annoying that they can attack at range. Because normally they might not have been able to run far enough to hit me. Ooh, nice, so the archer missed me. Okay. So Scoundrel's definitely taking a lot of damage, which is okay. I do have another trap back here. I got to keep my eye on it, because I think I can use Cragheart's push then to push her into that trap. And that will be beautiful. And I think I'll move on to the top, on top of the gold. So I already have my plan set up here for him. Okay, so I do have to attack 3, so she might die and not end up getting pushed. I'm kind of interested how they interpret the rule, because we'd always kind of... I think from the rules it says that the character, the enemy dies immediately, so you don't get a chance to do the push part, which would let me use an XP. And I'll just use Unstable Upheaval for the early initiative and basic movement, nothing really important. Add wound and gain. Okay. She should probably heal. But I'm also worried that if I wait too long... If I wait too long, I won't be able to... they're going to do a lot more damage to me, so healing doesn't really make a difference if there's a lot of guys left to just attack me once again. So I'll use Open Wound, and then I will Special Mixture to poison someone with a move to get to them. So they're moving, the Baited Archer's moving and immobilizing. I'm going before them again. The Bandit Guard's moving and strengthening, so I need to take these guys out fast. I think there's only 2 of them left. Yeah, 2 archers, 2. Okay, so we'll do move 3 with the poison. I'll move over here, try to stay out of the range of some of the heavier attackers. Maybe the Bandit Archers will split and hit Cragheart, and then I just have to deal with the guards. So I poison an adjacent target. There's only one choice. So he should take, I'll actually do 5 damage to him, plus my modifier, plus he'll be wounded. A wound is basically a damage you take every round, every time your turn starts. I won't get the XP, unfortunately. So it looks like this basic attack is going to kill him if I just draw a 0 or better modifier. Ooh, I drew a +1. I love the fact that the modifier is now gigantic. Maybe it's because I'm zoomed in, but it's definitely a lot bigger. And I can clearly see what I draw, which is awesome. Okay. So I'm going to do the basic move. And then activate the push and attack. Oh, it's going to be a disadvantage since unfortunately it's a range attack, but that's okay. I wonder if I could push someone else. I don't think I can. So the deal with push is that you have to push the enemy 1 space away from you. It has to be farther away than it was when it started. So I could attack this middle archer here, but if I tried to push it into if there was a trap behind it, I could do it. But since the trap is closer to me, The only person I can really push is this closer archer. It's probably going to attack. It's going to just the attack alone is going to kill him. So I probably won't. Yep, did not get to push. So the rule is they do die immediately. I love how they have the Harlequin, or Harlequin pants like they do in the board game. That's really cool. I think that's what that's called. I don't. My fashion is. Cragheart has a lot more hit points than before. The Scoundrel took a little bit of damage, but not too bad. Now the guard here is strengthened, which means his next attack is going to be at an advantage, so I really need to take this guy out fast. I think I can Dirt Tornado both of them, which will muddle them, but yeah. So I think I'm going to do that, and then since I'm staying where I am, and I didn't use my Warhammer. I should have when I did that melee attack. There's not really much I can do except heal, which I need to do that anyway, so I have an early initiative as early as possible. Okay, so Scoundrel. I can do an attack 3 really fast. And then I can set up this single out so that the next 4 attacks, if an enemy is not adjacent to their allies, it's going to do extra damage. So I can do that first and then do the flanking strike. So I should do some big damage with that. So they're kind of moving and doing attacks again. The Bandit Archer's got a pretty big attack, so I want to try to stop that. But I guess that's the plan for both Cragheart. Although Cragheart might not kill the Archer, which is okay, because I think it'll target him again. He's still got a lot of hit points. I just want to keep this Scoundrel from getting damaged. Okay, so I need to activate Single Out, which adds +2 for the next 4 attacks. And I get experience every second attack, which is kind of nice. And then so now this will be a 5 attack. I don't get the other bonus because he's not adjacent to my guy. But this should be enough to kill him. Yeah. So the nice thing is you can kind of mitigate, trouble just by making sure that you hedge your bets when it comes to modifiers. Even though I do have a lot of negative modifiers, I really kind of give myself a 50-50 chance of doing some big damage. So this will muddle the Archer, so he'll actually have 2 not great choices. Nice. So he drew 2 modifiers. Both of them were visible above, and it looked like they were both terrible damage, which is kind of nice. Also, whenever you hold your cursor over the enemy, how many single out hits you get? 4, Joe. 4 single out. So I just did my first one, so I've got 3 more left. The next one's going to give me XP. I love how when you hover over, that gives you so much information. Like it tells you what attack is going to be next, which one's going to give you XP, and which one's not. And then in addition to that, you can hold your cursor over and see what actions you just did this round. What I also like is when you hover over, the enemy itself, you can see the modifier deck discards that the enemy has had, which is kind of nice. So I know that that the enemy is drawn a +1, some zeros, and so that's pretty nice. Okay, so in the round, I'm going to do this attack and I'm going to try to activate my hammer, which will stun him. But unfortunately he doesn't go very fast, and the archers usually do, so... So that attack, and then I just need to move. That's not bad. It's another attack and a heal, but the scoundrel's probably not going to be close enough. I don't have any push, and the single out is still up here to kind of remind me that I've got that. Man, I really need to heal this character. If I go early, she's going to potentially attack me, the scoundrel, and not the... So I'll use throwing knives, so that will keep me far away. It'll keep me far away, and I should be able to hopefully not get hit by the archer. Although I have a feeling, yeah, Cragheart's going after. So I don't want to get too close with the scoundrel, because if I get as long as I stay, no, if I move any closer, the archer's going to go after the scoundrel instead. Because I'm 3 away right now. If I move 2 away, then I'm equal to Cragheart, which means it'll go after me, after the scoundrel, because it's got lower initiative. So I can't actually move, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and do throwing knives, which I can do. I guess I can move after if I end up killing her, which I did. I can now use this move to go ahead and start gathering gold. Maybe I'll move here. Alright, so Cragheart doesn't have anything to do, really. Although he could, yeah, he's going to move 2 and use his heal. It's just 1, but he'll be able to heal, spend next round healing a little more. And then I'm going to skip the attack. And then he's done. End of round. So Cragheart's got 1 more round he can go before he has to rest. No heals, unfortunately. So he'll use backup ammo to move. And not really much else to do this round. Unfortunately, the scoundrel either has to short rest or long rest. I'm going to have her long rest so that she can rest, and so Cragheart needs to rest, or the scoundrel needs to rest so she can get some hit points back, and then I also get to choose the card that she gets to discard, or lose, or burn, however you want to call it. Permanently lose for this scenario. Alright, so Cragheart's just going to move and skip the attack to pick up the gold. So the scoundrel gets to pick 1 card to burn, which it's always hard to decide because all of her cards have a really awesome use. And she's, of course, needs her heal card. Moving on the top is a very rare ability. I guess I'll take out Thieves' Knack because I don't necessarily need to disarm traps, although there's good XP and there's a bottom attack, but you always got to get rid of something. One of the tough parts about this game is you got to decide what cards. You got to make some tough decisions deciding what cards to put into your hand when you go on an adventure, which is already tough. And then while you're on the adventure, you've got to decide continuously what am I going to lose when I have to rest. I think think he'll short rest because... So I took a damage so that I could choose a different card. I didn't like that first one because it had a heal on it. And I lost another heal, but he has a lot of heals, so it's not too big of a deal. Okay, I'm going to use Rumbling Advance. And then we'll try like a long distance attack like Dirt Tornado for when we open up the room, next room. She'll do backstab, well, throwing knives. Well, no throwing knives yet because I'm going to have her grab that last piece of gold. So many good cards. Okay. Okay, so no enemies are going right now. The scoundrel's just gonna... I guess I'll just use the regular loot. And then skip the attack. So he's gonna go a little bit... early before she gets up there. But I can do the Dirt Tornado. Just a couple of guys in this little narrow room here. So we'll get them muddled. Do a little bit of damage, which is nice. And I did generate... Well, I generated with my bottom half of my card, I generated some nature magic I'll be able to use next round. And he's got a ton of hit points at this point. So they're muddled, and he's pretty good. Okay, so damage, just a little bit of damage. Not bad. Alright. So this will be a good time to use... I could... So let's go to the Scoundrel first. If I can move really far, and I think she has several cards that let her move really far. So if she can move 6, although, man, I was just thinking about this. I only need to move 2 to get this loot, and then I can throwing knives one of these guys. Alright, so we won't use the pull. Doesn't look like there's any traps in here. Yeah. I like when you hold the tab key, they also label which bandit guard they are, which in the physical game, knowing which bandit guard they are helps because initiative-wise they go one after the other if they're the same type of, if they're the same group type. So the number, it's determined by number who goes first, second, third. So it's nice to know who's going to move, how they're going to move. Okay, so that's a good choice, I think. I'm going to use throwing knives, and I'm just going to use a basic move to get this gold. Throwing knives will only hit the guard. So then Craghart really needs to damage the other guy. So what can I do that will eat? Oh, I can do Avalanche, which will hit both of them. Oh, that's a burn effect, though. I gotta get in the habit of using burn effects a little more frequently. If you use one burn effect in every room, that's just 3 cards, and then when you rest once per room, that's really 6 cards. So the fact that he has 12 cards, 11 cards, that means he really won't go out that soon. I just have to be careful if I take damage, and I'm going to lose more than that. So he'll go Avalanche, but Unstable Upheaval will get him an early initiative. Alright. So big attack by the Archer, but going a little bit later. Both guys are going later. So I'm going to do a basic move to get the gold. I'm going to do a ranged attack, hopefully drawing a better modifier to be able to kill him. +1. So killed him. Got the gold. Okay, so Cragheart will move. He'll go ahead and move up. Get the old gold. Now this is an attack. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the earth. Why not? There's not going to be any enemies to use till I get to the next room, so I might as well use it. It's going to probably wane if I don't. And I get an extra XP for doing it. I'm also going to use my Warhammer. That just stuns them. It's kind of pointless. So I don't understand why I'm not activating the Warhammer. During your melee attack, add stun to the entire attack action. It's a melee attack. Not sure why I can't activate it. Oh, and I can push with my Mask of Terror. I forgot about that. Huh. Okay, I think I have to select the attack first. That's right. Now I can select my Warhammer. So even if it doesn't kill him, it will stun him. Definitely didn't kill him, so I'm glad I stunned him. And of course that Warhammer is a one-time per scenario. It's a consumed item. It's a one-time per scenario item. So maybe not the best use of it, but you know. So he's stunned. She was stunned, so I'll use Crushing Grasp to move up and attack 3. Finish off the archer. She needs to heal. And then she can kind of move far. Oh, so Crackheart's going to go last. So I have to be careful. The bandit archer is going to go and attack. And of course, because she moves so far. Let's see. Oh, I can move way up out of range. Okay. No problem. Having a little bit of an issue, double clicking should like confirm the movement, but it wasn't quite reacting. So she'll heal, and she'll pick up the gold. So she's almost back to full health. Archer. I was a little afraid there, scared for a second because the archer moved, but it was just to get out of close range. So I took a damage. And then this will... He'll just go ahead and move on up. Do opposing strike to attack and get a little XP. Drew -1, but still enough. Alright. So we'll end the round. And we should just have one room left here. Remember, this is really cool if you want to play it totally top-down, almost like the board game. You definitely have that ability to do that. You don't get to see as much, and you can always zoom in and out. Move the camera around with the middle mouse button. Pretty awesome. So I might have him use some big abilities now at this point. Might use... Well, maybe I'll use... Well, there's probably nothing right by the door is the problem. It's a pretty big attack. So maybe he'll just add 3 movement. And then she's going to need to... She could just short rest this round. I almost like short resting just because it gets me out of having to pick a card myself. This is my big card, so I really don't want to lose it. So I'm going to take a damage. The second card that you get, though, you have to take. So I just lost my heal. So I'm not going to be healing anymore. Unless Cragheart heals her. Which kind of sucks, but... I might use throwing knives. I don't want to get too far in the room with her. But I'll use flanking strike. The problem with this pair of heroes is that he is always going to go later than she will. There's almost no way that I can rig it so that he will go earlier, which kind of sucks, but... And I just realized someone's going to have to grab this loot. Maybe she will jump across and grab it. That means she's not going to open the door. Ah. Well, yeah, see, so I can't actually use my throwing knives like I wanted to. Okay. Ah, she can use the blinking cape to perform a move for jump action. And again, you have to use these degrading abilities, these degrading items, which is a feature of the adventure mode. You need to use them because otherwise they waste anyway. They degrade it all the time anyway. Alright, so he'll move in, see what's going on in this room. And I have a range attack keyed up, so it should do some pretty good damage. And it would hit something adjacent, but these guys are all both pretty low. A lot of traps in the way. I don't necessarily need to be any more in the room. As a matter of fact, I can even move back to kind of get out of line of sight of this other archer. Now I'll be able to attack and hopefully kill one of the archers. Generate some life magic. Really awesome effects. And yeah, she's dead. I wish I could see... One of the things that I noticed that the camera is doing, and maybe that's some option I can change, is it's moving the camera to kind of show you the attack. And it's kind of cinematic, right? It's trying to show you the attack, so it's moving the camera back. But what's happening is the overlays on the top are then covering the modifiers that I'm drawing. So maybe that'll get fixed. Okay, Cragheart's done. So the archer's moving up. This is a... Ooh, nice. No damage. So this is a an elite archer. So she's going to do a little bit more damage. Kind of like a... sort of a mini-boss. Okay, so he's got to do Crater and Sentient Growth. He's going to go really late. She's going to do Backstab. And Open Wound. Maybe Smoke Bomb. Can I hit her with Smoke Bomb? Range 3, yep, range 3. See, this is a really good combo. You pull her from range 3 into right next to Cragheart. Then you can use Backstab and do extra damage because she's not going to be adjacent to any of her allies and she's adjacent to my allies. So I just pull her into Backstab range, which is going to rock. And I'll use my Eagle Eye Goggles as well. Yeah. And that will more than likely finish her. Now the question is, though, I got to get that treasure. But it's an elite archer, so I probably won't kill her. Alright. Ooh. Alright, so we're pulling her. Alright, so now this attack, which will also be at advantage. Oh, and it killed her. So unfortunately... Oh, but look at this. I can use my cloak to do a move forward jump action. I can't quite get to it. But I can get to this gold up here, though. Now, I will say most of the treasure chests have all been... almost always been... gold. There's been a couple items, but they've degraded, so... So the question is then, how do I do... I wish that I had enough movement to get to the treasure, but I don't. I just don't. So I gotta jump to the treasure, or jump to the gold. Yeah, I didn't get the treasure, but you know, you can't always be focused on treasure, man. You just can't. Oh, I can't do an attack, so I can't heal. That kind of sucks. But, you know, it's over. Need some bootsies. It is weird that items degrade, but it's just a feature of adventure mode, and I think the reason why they do it is so they can give you more items, right? Because one of the things about Gloomhaven is once you fully equip items on every piece of your body and have all your items, then you don't have the ability to get any more. You know, there's no incentive to keep playing. So I think the fact that there's two benefits of degrading. One, they can give you more items, and then two, they can give you better items, right? Because if you get an awesome, you know, broadsword or something, then you have the ability of, if you got that awesome broadsword, it might only last you a couple of rounds, a couple of scenarios, but it does awesome damage. So it's kind of a cool, like, temporary kind of thing. Need some bootsies. Alright, so it's kind of interesting. Now we got a little bit of a glowing and after effect when I hover over something, and looks like there's some new enemies out here. Living Spirit, Bone Ranger, Living Bones, Cultist, Abandoned Catacombs. Den of Razors. So it looks like either one of these new destinations might be kind of a big adventure, with some new enemies to fight. And again, not really making a lot of progress toward the retreat. It would be nice if they kind of explained in the how to play, there's a how to play menu, what exactly the reason why these other areas are like on the map that aren't on my path, and then what kind of path, how's the path going to look. Let's see, like there's a Blackrock Asylum down here. So it's kind of interesting. I really like the adventure mode. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way for you to learn a character and how they play, and also how they combo with another character. So it's great to have to kind of play two-player mode at first, and then adding a third player is you'll see kind of how they synergize together. So definitely some really cool abilities, lots of things going on. So I think what I'm going to do now is kind of take a quick break. For adventure mode, they really don't say anything. You just kind of, it says you lead a party of mercenaries in search of glory and fortune. You gain enough power to defeat 3 bosses in the region of Wayward. So I guess I'm maybe eventually moving toward a boss. Maybe that's where I'm at, is the boss. We'll see. I guess that might be why they're glowing a little bit more than before. Could be that's something that they added. But I'm going to go ahead and take a break from the Gloomhaven really quickly to kind of give a first look at a new game that's coming out, or that actually is out. And I'll kind of justify, I'm going to give you my rationale for why this game is, why I think this counts as what I like to do on the show, which is look at board game adaptations. I also do like to look at board games or digital games that have a lot of inspiration, or, you know, pay homage to board games as well. So one of the things that I really love about some games, like if you, for example, like the 4X games, are very much like a board game in a lot of ways. It's turn-based. There's some random elements when it comes to attacking. You build an army. You have to manage resources. So there's a lot that's very much board game-like, and probably the most famous 4X game would be, games like Civilization. But there's always something about them that still were very digital. But this game, there was a game series that came out that was very much reminded me of a board game in a lot of ways. And I wasn't even aware that they were working on a new game in the franchise and that they were going to completely change it into one of my favorite genres, which is sci-fi. So the new game we're going to kind of take a look at here is, if I can find the right window, is the Age of Wonders, which is one of my favorite turn-based fantasy series 4X games, and they just released Age of Wonders Planetfall, which takes everything into kind of a sci-fi mode. So I'm really excited to kind of take a look at this. I did not even, like I said, I didn't even know that it was coming out, and so we'll take a look at that. Tonight, I was just switching over. Here we go. So Age of Wonders Planetfall. Really excited to go in and take a look at what this game is all about. Just take a look at maybe the tutorial to start off with. Yeah, so it's Age of Wonders, but sci-fi, the new sci-fi game that apparently has been in the works. Didn't even know until it actually released today. And so I was like, I've got to take a look at this, and be kind of cool to look a little bit on Steam or on the stream and maybe show the tutorial and some of the ways it's kind of similar to turn-based. The original Age of Wonders was, of course, a fantasy. Cool. All right. Oh, if game is talking, can I hear? Okay, so I will kind of give a summary here in a second. So it looks like we're investigating an anomaly on a planet, and we've kind of landed in there on the planet. Take a look, and it's going to give me, tutorial steps. I've got an AVA, autonomous integrated virtual assistant, to help me. And then when there's important actions that need to be undertaken, she'll let me know. So you can pan around using the WASD keys, zoom in and out with the mouse. Typical movement. And then you select with the left mouse button. So we've got powering up of base colony systems. Jack Gelder. There's no time to waste. We'll start by setting up and expanding this colony. Start a surface scan for survivors and existing colony infrastructure. Inform me when our research systems are online. Alright, she's recalibrating sensors, initiating surface scan. A biodome has been located nearby, but there are no signs of survivors. Continue scanning the planet's surface. If there's any survivors on this world, I want to know about it. I'll scout the adjacent sectors and investigate the biodome. It should contain supplies that will help us expand our colony. Alright, so I got to take my army and explore a nearby sector, try to find some survivors. I'm looking for a nearby biodome. And I can see my progress in the objective interface. Okay. Explore the nearby sector, then take control of the biodome. And then that'll give me a reward of some food and research points. Research points will help me have obviously better abilities, upgrade technology. So first thing, this is what a 4X game. You can always zoom out pretty far and make it basically just look at just the stats and the overworld map. And then of course you can just zoom in as close as you want. Really beautiful kind of cell shaded plant life and terrain. The water looks awesome. And of course I've got a boundary around the area that I control. And at the other Age of Wonders game, you had to expand your territory, try to take over as much as you could, and obviously there would be enemy players, AI players, who'd be trying to stop you from doing that. And it's all turn-based, so you only have like a certain number of moves every round. You can only do so many things, and it takes so many turns to upgrade and gather resources and research things. So I'm going to take him. All right, so I selected my army. Armies are composed of individual units. You can have up to 6. It looks like I've got an assault bike and some vanguard troopers. And then, of course, you always have heroes in Age of Wonders. Jack Gelder is going to go out himself and take care of business. So if I left-click on somebody, it will open their portrait. So basically, whenever you want to move, what's really nice is once you select your army, then you can kind of scroll out, or I can expand out, move the mouse, and see how many moves it's going to take you to get to where you want to go. So I need to get to this biodome. It's going to take me 6 moves, and you can kind of see the path here. I can either use the path that it recommends, which is going to take the shortest number of turns, or I can kind of create a waypoint path myself if I want to take like a safer route. But I'm going to go ahead and opt for the faster route. Oop. Okay, maybe I got to right click to actually move. So he moved all the movement that he can. Once his movement points are used up, then I've got to actually wait a turn. So again, it's like turn-based board game type actions, and then the enemy acts. Colony production facilities are currently idle. I recommend we start with building a replicator facility to increase production. So I want to increase production so I can build things faster. And so I'm going to go to my structure. So one of the nice things is that when you select a city, you have options of upgrading it, which can increase your production, your food growth. Everything's pretty clear as far as the resources that it gives you. So upgrading your cities is really under your control, and there's lots of a variety of choices usually in what you have to do or what you can do. And I can produce things in structure mode. I can produce... Oh, it's not letting me look at anything else just yet. So basically, if I select a city, I can look at my food production, which it's at plus 19, so it's actually feeding people and actually making a surplus of 19 food. Energy production, which is basically like units of production, right? Like you can build things and that spins production. It's like workers working. We also have knowledge, which is used for research that's generated. So I've got some scientists who can have resource income that I can use to research things. And then, of course, happiness. I'm at a plus 6 right now, so pretty good. And then I have 13 out of 16 population, or 3 out of 16, sorry. So I can really grow my population a lot before I hit any kind of limits. And I can hover over anything I want to build, and it'll tell me how many turns it'll take. So building facilities here on the left will either give me access to more efficient resource production. If I build this replicator factory, for example, it increases my production, so it'll go up by plus 15, so I'll be at 100, and it just takes 2 turns to build, so it's kind of nice. And I can double click to add it. Alright, so it looks like it's in the production queue, and I can see it here that that's what it's currently producing, and I imagine there's going to be a little meter that's going to fill up as it goes through the turns. Now this is just a 2-turn item, but some of the structures and buildings and things will take multiple turns, so you got a little progress bar that'll show up. Looks like you have to pay resources immediately for any cost, and then it still takes the amount of time to build it. Okay. So really, all that you have to do, just like any board game, is you have to manage your colonies, and once you manage your colonies, then you've also got to move your units, which I did move my army here. Yeah, so if you end your turn, then the enemy gets to go, and if you're attacked, then you kind of take control again. But there's really nothing else I can do, because I've handled what's going on in my city for the round, and my guy's still moving, progressing. So I'm going to go ahead and end turn. So it looks like if there's any tasks that require attention, it'll let me know. Our laboratories have come online and research is now available. We can begin researching technologies to unlock new deployments to help us on the planet. Excellent. What do you suggest we start with, considering our mission parameters? So what's really cool is in this game you have the option to either do military research, you can do society research, and so she's kind of picked, we have the option of which route you want to go. We can do nanite support to provide troops with extra protection and unlock battlefield support operations. So it looks like maybe some battlefield support vehicles or troops plus extra protection and defense for our troops. If we want to go the society route, we can get frontier facilities to unlock basic infrastructure upgrades. So now we have a research tree. So it looks like the 2 tracks can be researched in parallel, so I might be able to research both at the same time. Military research is going to have us unlock new units, unit modifications, military operations. Society research deals with economic development, governmental doctrines, covert operations. Knowledge is applied to both types of research equally at the end of each turn. Okay. I like that you can research, because usually you have to choose one or the other, but it's nice that you can kind of do both at the same time. Higher tier research is sometimes locked behind prerequisites, so they refer to it as a tree because you have to research prerequisites before you can research the later abilities. So military research can include racial research, tactical operation, weapon technologies and secret technologies. Okay. So she did recommend anything that she recommends is placed with a jewel, which is kind of cool. I like that. Because at first you want a little bit of a training wheel. It's going to give me nanite injectors, and you just have to hover over that to see what that means. Looks like I can heal units with that. It's kind of nice. I'll also be able to build a nanite support station. onto the battlefield. It gives obscure to adjacent units. That's kind of cool. So we can cloak them. Combat assist system. It's a drone that assists with combat, and it purges negative status effects. Okay. So that seems like a good recommendation. So I'm going to go ahead and research that. Okay. Yeah, so it's glowing, kind of flashing a little bit. And then I'm going to go to society research. Economic, government policies, espionage. So diplomacy, and then also the betterment of my own economic development. And it looks like there's 3 kinds of trees. There's doctrine, which is governmental policies to steer your empire, economy, research, there's a lot of that, and then operations, special covert operations. And the recommendation is frontier facilities, which is going to help me create a recreational dome, which will increase my happiness. One of the things you got to worry about with your colony is if the happiness declines, then they don't produce as much. They could riot and you lose the city or the colony. Upgrades colony militia to include more powerful units, so that would upgrade my military structures to produce better units. And then we've got a vanguard colonizer. So this is how you build new colonies. You need a colonizer vehicle, and this is going to let me do that. All right, so I've got both military. Yeah, the nanites would be cool. So I got military and kind of economy. It looks like I might... Oh, no, I think I'm going to make it here. Okay, there's no survivors here. Looks like the structure was overrun by critters. We must reclaim the biodome and annex a sector to our colony. This will expand our domain and increase our supplies. So it looks like I'm going to take these critters out. Okay, we don't have enough colonists to control additional sectors yet, Commander. We will need additional food to allow the colony to grow. Larger colonies can sustain more province sectors. Okay, so it looks like I can't grow my colony into a new sector until I get more population, which of course we need more food. I want to establish our foothold as quickly as possible. We can recover extra food from the overgrown biodome after we clear out the wildlife. Okay, so I'm hoping that in attacking and taking over the biodome, we'll get enough food to help my population. So I think that means fight. Alright, so one of the things that's cool is, oh, you can negotiate. That's kind of cool. I like that. So there is a diplomacy option, not with these critters. But one of the things you can do is you can initiate auto combat. Let's see. Looks like I can possibly do some negotiation. You can kind of see the stats. But one of the things you can do is run away if you don't think that the attack is going to work out for you. But I'm going to go ahead and initialize manual combat because this is kind of the cool element of the turn-based game. So basically, the defender gets to move first, but often they're kind of clear back, and they can't really do too much. Then the attackers get to go. It seems like there's some technologies you can research that give you tactical operations that you can launch, but you can't use them the first turn. So every unit gets 1 to 3 action points. You can spend them to do actions that cost a variable number of points, or you can move them. And sometimes if you use certain abilities, it just ends your turn even if you have action points left. And then it will let you know how many how many moves you have left if you're moving. So you can guard as well, which will increase your defense if you think you're going to get hit. And then you can also see the range of your abilities if you hover over them. Okay. That's cool. So you can move enemies behind cover, so you want to use your landscape to your advantage, and there'll be little shields over things that you can take cover behind. You can also put your troops on Overwatch, which means that they're kind of on defense mode and will attack anything that moves into their line of sight, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to put my task is to put my troops in cover. So I'll select these troops, and as you can see, when I go into a shielded area here, looks like I've got half cover and full cover. So I'm going to put these guys into cover. And that uses one of their actions. And then I'm going to put them on Overwatch, so they'll automatically shoot at enemies that move into their field of view. So if they are on Overwatch, they'll have an eye above its head, and they'll attack anything that you can see kind of moves into their field of fire, which is kind of nice. I wish I would have moved them up a little closer, but that's okay. Oh, I guess I got to select my... Okay, so I've got them on Overwatch watching that area. So you also select their field of fire. So I'm going to move these next troopers. We'll move them up a little closer. So these guys are in cover. And then I'm going to put them on... I wonder if I can attack. Let's see. Yes, but it's only... So the nice thing is it'll also tell you what your percentage chance is of hitting. I'm only at 20%, so I think I'm just going to put them on Overwatch as well. And they'll just hit anything that comes into its line of sight. So the cool thing about heroes is that they have extra special abilities, and they actually go into battle themselves. He has a grenade, which is pretty cool. The problem is if they die, they actually are taken out of the game for a few rounds, and then they'll show up back at your home base. So I think I'm going to move him up in the front lines as well. And then, let's see, can I use the grenade? Nope, it's not far enough away. Or not close enough. I also can't fire very well. I'm only at 15%. So I'm going to put him on Overwatch also. He's got a pretty good field of vision. The assault bike is cool. I can use a focused laser array. Or a wide field laser array. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to move. Looks like he can maybe shoot at a distance. Oh. So I can't use it right now. He can't be put on Overwatch, so looks like he's not going to be able to hit anything this close anyway, so he'll just kind of stay in cover. So we'll have these next guys move up a little bit. Ooh, they have no movement left. So once you've taken and placed all your guys, so it looks like everything's going to be kind of randomized. So it's kind of like a die roll. You have an accuracy rating that will let you possibly hit things. I have all my guys on Overwatch, so it's probably going to roll a random RNG for hitting these guys as they move into my field of vision. So it's the enemy's turn to move. We'll kind of see what happens. Okay, so these guys missed. Ooh, and as they move closer, I did a lot of damage, killed half of their guys. Oh! So basically, I attacked an enemy, and then it leaped into me and took out my guy who was on Overwatch, but I think it didn't kill them. Alright, so now I gotta move all my people. See if I can do my grenade. Nope, not quite. So if I attack, I do 85% chance of hitting. That's pretty good. I'm going to use my laser rifle. Pretty nice. And now I've got another close group of guys here. I'm going to try using a grenade by moving up just a little bit. Getting my grenade going. So it looks like your troops can be either have high morale or low morale, and they can mess up attacks if they have low morale and score critical hits when they have high morale. Looks like I had kind of lower morale because I think they got hit a little bit, so they were a little scared. So I'm going to have them move, this next troop move up and kind of guard them a little bit. Alright, so enemy's been destroyed. Battle won by Jack Gelder. You can also do a quick replay and watch your progress in the battle, which is kind of cool. Our colony has grown big enough to support an additional sector. I recommend annexing the sector which contains a biodome, as this will add its food income to our colony. We'll annex a sector to our colony as a province sector so we can start exploiting the land for resources as soon as possible. That's what you want to hear, exploiting resources. So we'll take the food resources and the sector. Searching for survivors completed. Expand the colony. Okay, so I can annex the sector by moving a unit on top of the sector banner and then selecting Annex Sector in the available options. So it looks like you got to actually go to sectors in this game and annex them, unlike Age of Wonders where you just kind of took over a castle and it suddenly became yours and you had the sector too. So I'll move over there. All right, so you can analyze. Colonize a sector with colonizers, or you can just move on to them and add them by moving on to them. Let's see, and you can look at the kind of features that you're going to get. Sector analysis, which is kind of cool. It'll increase my food income, boost output for research. And you can see their economic potential based on what kind of terrain is surrounding it. There might also be resource nodes, visit sites, and hazards that can have strategic value. It could also weaken units, those kind of things. Wow, so I got to make some choices on how to annex it. Once I'm more experienced, I will optimize sector choices. For now, pick habitable sector adjacent to your stall. Okay. Oh, pick any habitable sector adjacent to your starting colony. Move an army to its sector center and annex it. Yeah, it looks like I can annex it. So I'll have more visibility and gather income. Might as well. I can also found a colony, but it doesn't look... I can't establish a colony adjacent to an already existing colony. Okay, so it looks like colonies can't be right next to each other. Surface scan completed. Commander, I'm picking up a Vanguard military signal nearby. This could signify the presence of survivors on the planet. Bring it up on scanners. Let's find out what the hell's going on here. So there's some familiar sector signals nearby. I've got to locate the Vanguard military signal in the nearby sector. I've got to investigate it, and I get a reward of 40 energy. My troops seem to be doing pretty well. I believe that they'll automatically heal after just spending some time out of combat. And they're not too damaged right now anyway. I'm hoping to, once I get the nanites research, they'll start healing. So my objectives right now are establishing a colony, expand a colony, annex fungal habitats, which I thought I did. Maybe it's going to take some time. And then investigate the signal. I also can exploit a province sector. Well, what do I do if I exploit a province sector? So I'm going to go ahead and move on back here. Maybe we'll exploit this one down here. And I think Lavabor is still working on, yeah. So I can also build some new units if I want to start another army. I can build troopers and an owl. Looks like it's a type of protection. But I think I'll wait to build another army just yet. Because if you build an army, it tends to drain your resource production. So I think I'll wait. And it is still building the replicator facility. So I'm going to end my turn. Okay, it looks like I can exploit the colony that the province just by selecting it and selecting the kind of exploitation. And I get to choose what kind of exploitation I'm going to do. After it's been exploited, a specialization can be built in it to further increase the sector's economic benefit. Okay. Alright, so let's see this exploitation running as soon as possible. What does it tell us? Analyzing, it's got some fungal, which looks like food and research for fertile plains for food and research, or a biodome for food. Recommendation is agriculture exploitation. It'll synergize with both the climb and terrain, allowing the sector to reach its full potential. Okay, and it'll synergize with agricultural exploitation, which will provide bonus food. Okay, so yeah, it does look like it recommends agriculture exploitation, which takes some time to research. You can either exploit industry and production, research, or energy. So it does look like I'm going to go for the food production, so that's going to take 2 turns. And that completes one of my objectives. So going into No Man's Wilderness, yeah, it doesn't look like I can... sector limit reached. I need 2 more colonists before I can add to the sector. So I can't add this new sector until I get some more colonists. It's nice that it tells you the restriction, so you kind of know what's going on. So I guess I wasted some time moving down here. So I'm going to go ahead and move on up toward... I'm going to move on up toward the new objective, because that's... Once I exploit this sector, that's really the only objective I have left. Ooh, looks like my research is done. Alright, so I got some nanites. So I can modify a unit, it looks like. And I can apply it to any unit. So now I got to select new research. So as you can see, the tree is now opened up from this first branch. I can research engineering core and shotguns. They can place gun turrets and repair tools. Wow, that's pretty cool. I can make smart defense modules, combat sensors, interlocking armor, or heavy lasers. I think I'm going to go with the defense modules, build up a little defense. And my society research, I think, is finished also. Yeah. So it looks like I can do a colony upgrade for recreational dome, military infrastructure, and of course I've got my colonizer that I can create now to start new colonies. So I'm going to select new research. Now that I've done frontier facilities, I can either go back and do aquatic deployment to build some water bases. That's cool. Sea transport, river crossing expertise. Or I can keep building up on my frontier facilities and do some, let's see, investing in research sector development or food development. I like the idea of investing in food because it seems like food is related to colonies growing faster, and that seems to be holding me back from expanding further, so we'll go ahead and do that. And that seems to be all I can do this round. The nice thing is with this game too is it gives you a nice little readout here of anything that's going on in your colony, because pretty soon I'll have like multiple colonies, multiple sectors going on, and any new development that happens will show up on this little news feed here. So I created a sector base. Yeah, so we got the big news was I annexed this sector. And now you can see my sector map is twice what it was. It shows what I'm exploiting, which is food, and my border's grown, and I can see a little bit more into the wilderness than I could before I annexed. So we'll go ahead and end the turn. So it's going to take me maybe a couple more turns to move up to this. Nothing else new going on, as you can see, because there's nothing in my news feed. So what's nice is you can just say to yourself, okay, everything's still growing, everything's still producing, so I'm not too worried. Producing, okay, so I guess I have to produce agricultural exploitation here since it's part of my colony, and then I can build new structures. So I'll go ahead and end the turn. All right. So because I exploited a province sector, I just got some new resources. I got energy and production, which you can always see up here at the top. Although production is something that happens within individual colonies. So I am producing energy at a profit cosmite, I guess. This rare mineral material originates beyond the voids required for advanced unit and modules. Okay, so cosmite is what lets me build advanced units. I've got research and producing at a pretty high profit, and influence. Influence is kind of how you obviously influence neighboring races and maybe talk them into joining you a lot easier. And so now the only thing I got to do is tick off all my objectives except for familiar signals. Just got to investigate that nearby sector. So I'm going to, if I didn't build anything, then they would just focus on converting production into energy, or I could convert it into other things. But I'm going to go ahead and build something, some new and improved. So a lot of things will build, a lot of facilities that you can build will add new types of units, which these two military ones do. It builds a little robot dog or assault bike, like the one I have. Apparently they just gave me one. I always kind of like to make, something for the people, something for me. So I'm going to do a recreational dome, give them a little happiness boost. Hopefully that'll also make them, a little friskier, and they'll want to raise the population with me. All right, so I've got to move. The nice thing is the news feed also tells you whenever you need to move units. So if you have multiple armies, it's really nice because it tells you, hey, you haven't moved these guys yet, or you have moved these guys. Lieutenant Jang, what the hell are you doing on this rock? Last I heard, you were stationed on Leave 6. Commander Jack Gelder, I require your immediate assistance. Our settlement is overrun with hopper hounds, and we need help fighting them off. We're sending you blueprints for some weapon modification. Let's burn these bugs down. Alright. Before engaging in battle, we should mod our units to make them more combat effective. Select our army and expect... Okay, so this is how you can equip modifications by researching them. We can equip the mods Jane gave us on our troops on weapons. Please bear in mind that while the process is immediate on your weapons, modifying our troops leaves them vulnerable. Okay. So I did investigate the signal. That counted for that reward. I've got to defeat the Hopperhound threat. But I got to modify my troops first. So heroes, I just selected my hero unit just to see if I can modify him. Hero units have upgrade points. They level up, and when you level up, you get abilities. It's just like an RPG. I mean, it's amazing in this game because they have RPG elements for the hero characters. So it's like playing a hero, and you have a lot invested in how you raise them up. And then they get new abilities. It's just really cool, and you level up with experience. So let's see. I don't have any upgrade points. I've got 2 out of 8 XP, so I need to level up here. But I'm going to see if I can add a modification. Yeah. So they do cost a little bit. I do have to spend some of that, what's it called? Cosmite, to put nano injectors, and I can also incinerate enemies, which, I mean, I got to have that as a mod. Why can't I select you? Oh, Unit mods can be unlocked through research or bought from NPC factions. So I guess some factions will sell you mod points. So I'm going to go ahead and get an incinerator module. And then a nanite injector. And I can't get anything else. Unfortunately, I need to research. Oh, I can only have one kind of ammunition at a time. So I already have flechettes, which are good at fighting robots. I'm going to get incinerators, which are good for these enemies I'm about to fight. So I've just modified him. And I've got to confirm it by spending the energy and the cosmite. Alright. So I think if I wait to attack until next turn, then I won't have that disadvantage where you're for a turn you're kind of messed up because of the modification. Okay. So there's different kinds of units you have. You can have core units, which are like scouts and baseline infantry. Skirmisher units are focused on dealing damage. Specialists have non-damage support abilities. And elite units are higher tier units that have strong damage and support. And you get all those by doing more research. So I'm going to go ahead and give him an incinerator module as well. Nanite injectors, does that help I guess we'll see. I'm not sure if it'll actually help to heal him. Oh, okay. So I can actually rename units once I create a new type with mods. That's kind of cool. And every unit after that can be named the same type. That's cool. So I can actually check the name. I can I can randomly generate different names. Fire starting, I like that. And you can select different icons for the abilities. That's cool. I like that one. So yeah, this will be my fire starter. We'll switch that, give it a little prodigy flavor. Uh-oh. Why does that have a big, Oh, okay, it's upgrading for a turn. So yeah, so I'm going to be kind of... So my heroes don't need a turn to upgrade, but my units do. So that's what that mechanic, that wrench means. It's upgrading them. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give them some nanites, some flechettes. Wonder why they can't have the mod I got. Ooh, butchers. I like that name. These will be the butchers. So it's taking them a little while. Now I can select... Oh, this is cool. So you can just select the template. Do you want the butcher mod? Yes. So I don't have to reselect everything. I like this much easier interface for upgrades. Okay. Nice. So it's upgraded as it's modifying. So I'm probably going to wait a little bit. Yeah, so you can select a check mark to wait a turn. Everybody's still upgrading. So I'm going to end my turn. So everybody's good. Everybody's modified, ready to fight. So I think we're going to go ahead and start this fight. I know, upgrade. Alright, so I'm moving in. This will kind of be the last thing I'll do here. Right. So basically what this interface, why it looks different, is because if you have another army adjacent to the enemy and you attack it with one of the armies that's adjacent to the enemy, both of the allies will come into battle. And you can completely surround an enemy and then attack them, which is kind of cool. But I have two different units that are going to be attacking here. Oh, I could have upgraded her units too. But I didn't do that. So it looks like there's no auto combat mode, which there was in the regular Age of Wonders. We'll just be doing tactical combat, which, you know, looks pretty rad. So remember, defenders get to move first. So they just kind of spread out. They don't really get to do too much. Okay, looks like they're moving toward Jack Gilder, which Jack Gilder does not like. So now you can see I have a new ability, Nanite Injectors, which will heal the unit for 15 hit points and increase its resistances. So let's try to get Jack behind some cover that's not like right up in these guys' faces. And then he's going to go on Overwatch here. Now this guy's going to be able to handle a little bit more. Alright, so I don't think he'll be able to do much else. Maybe go into defensive mode. Alright, so we'll put him on Overwatch. I don't know if these guys will make it. Okay, so they can't go on Overwatch, they move too far. And you can see, it's kind of hard to see a little bit, but you can see that every time I move across a colored band, it's going to cost more movement. So each of my action points that I have is going to be decreased by 1. So I'll kind of move them over here. Put them on Overwatch also. Man. And of course I got to move my other troops now. Oh, I've got an engineer who can place a gun turret. Yes, please. Let's see. Oh, they have to place it. First they have to move and then they can place it. Nice. So we got a gun turret going up. It can fire twin guns. Can I hit anything? At a 5%. So I guess we'll just go on Overwatch. Got to move some people up in a range here. That was probably too far for them, yeah. They're not going to be able to go on Overwatch now. So we got a new hero. She's a sniper. Let's... How far can she hit with that thing? Alright. So she can't quite go on Overwatch, so she'll go in defensive mode. Have some more troops move up and go on Overwatch. Man, these guys, there are a lot of troops here. Alright, so I'm ending the turn. We'll see how the... Lots of guys on Overwatch firing their new modified weapons. Ooh. Ooh, nice. One unit of troops are done. Man, that leap just knocks my guys out and knocks them out of Overwatch. And staggers them, so they're going to be kind of hard. It's going to be hard for them to hit. Ah. Okay. So it looks like after the first round you can launch tactical operations. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at those. I can do a combat assist system, which can send a drone to assist a target unit. Takes away status effects and produces 2 something. I'm assuming it helps them attack more. Nanite support station can obscure them. Shredder bomb can do 12 damage. That's kind of cool. Laser strike. I mean, come on. I got to do that one. Alright, so I select a laser strike. Oh. I'm afraid I might hit something surrounding. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like it might hit some of the surrounding guys, but let's see. Target an enemy unit. And then it's like, maybe I'm targeting with the wrong button, probably. Yeah, I was. Okay, so it didn't hit surrounding territory. Does a little bit of damage. Not bad. I'm going to do the focus laser array. But it looks like it costs more action points than I have, which is kind of crazy. Maybe I got to upgrade them. So I'm going to do my wide shot. Okay, so, yeah. So it got an attack of opportunity because I attacked at range right next to a guy that... yeah, right next to a guy that was on Overwatch, kind of. Alright, so it looks like I can hit some of these guys this way. Do a little grenade toss. There we go. Only have a 40% chance of hitting these guys, so I think what I'll do is move up. I have a 50% chance. Might as well. I should have put them on Overwatch. But I think they're range attackers. So now, unfortunately, I've got to move a lot of guys up. Yeah, my turret really can't do a whole lot right now. Engineers are going to move around. Problem is I can't hit anybody right now. Alright, so sniper, come on. Let's get you up here. The hardest part about this game is when you know you can't really move anywhere tactically, and you're just kind of trying to get everybody in position somewhere so that you can get past that turn. Later, Joe. Alright. There's really not much else to do. Yeah, so I didn't have him in guard mode and I got flanked. So I took a lot of damage there. Alright, so Jack Yelder's gonna go. Oof. Ooh, that might have done a little more damage to me. Alright. Galactic Warlord. Getting a little bit of progress toward that achievement. Thank you, Commander. You got us out of a tight spot there. Don't mention Lieutenant. Status report. What happened here? Force of Outlanders made Planetfall a few cycles ago and assaulted our positions. The assault was centered on the Void Tech facility nearby. We fought them off, but we suffered heavy casualties. Any survivors? None on their side, but our colony was burned to the ground during the assault. You're looking at all the remains of my detachment and its colony. What a mess. I'm sorry about your casualties, Lieutenant. What is it? What about this Void Tech facility? Why were they after it? I don't know. All the scientists who knew of the facility perished in the assault. With our colony destroyed, we were unable to annex the landmark to investigate it further. Alright, let's get things back on track. I'll take command here, pack up your settlement so we can redeploy it and set up a proper colony. Lieutenant Jiang, lead the way to the Void Tech facility. Acknowledged, Commander. Alright, so I defeated the Hopper Hounds, got a reward. Now that you have a new colonizer unit, looks like I got a colonizer unit with the part of the reward. I can found a second colony. It'll expand my domain on the planet, increase my income and economic growth. I can found a new colony by moving a colonizer onto the center of a sector, so those can take over sectors, but it can't be adjacent to another colony. And then found a colony. Cannot be placed adjacent to an existing colony. So I just have to found that colony and then explore that extra-dimensional observation complex. That's it. And yeah, so I'll keep building. So it looks like I've got to go to these sector points to either exploit them with provinces, or if they're not adjacent to another colony, I can use a colonizer to start a new colony. That's one of my new tasks. One of the things you can do that's really cool too is you can kind of zoom out, take a look at the size of the map. It looks like I've got very little of the whole map done, but who knows how long the tutorial will actually be. So very cool, very much influenced, I think, by board games, especially the big epic 4X board games where you manage resources, you basically build an empire. There's a campaign mode which has a story and probably objectives, quests, things like that to do. So very cool. I'm not sure if I'll take a look at it next week on the show. I'm kind of going back and forth. I may finish the tutorial on my own and start playing the game. I'm not sure if I'll keep looking at this on my stream, but definitely worth taking a look at, just to kind of show everybody the kind of influence that board games obviously have on digital games and vice versa. But lots of really cool things with this new version of Age of Wonders, which has moved into the sci-fi realm. So very cool. Don't forget, this Saturday we'll be taking a look at Dead of Winter as a one-off, kind of look at some other board games that are out there. One of my favorite cooperative-ish with betrayer elements type board games. And of course it is zombies, which is a little cliche, but it's probably one of the best board games that are out there. So check that out on Saturday. And then, of course, I'll be back here next Tuesday doing more streaming, probably some more Gloomhaven. We're still a month away from the release of Lord of the Rings, which got pushed back. So just delaying the continuation of the Lord of the Rings just in case they make any more final tweaks. And, of course, I'm still trying to figure out how to beat that slug at the beginning of that fourth mission with my custom Spore deck. But we'll be back next Tuesday no matter what, doing some more Gloomhaven, doing some more, eventually, Lord of the Rings. So we'll check it out then. See you later. Bye.